Haiti borders with the Dominican.
Her name is Serena Buffalino. They call her Mrs. B, and her class always begins with a pledge.
Something local, something global. Haiti.
They're words that carry weight here. Helping yourself means helping others, giving back, here and a world away in Haiti.
And nobody's helping them, except for people like us.
It was through her the class learned of Haiti, of the nearly 1 million orphans, many with no school, no support, no Mrs. B in their lives.
They could not wrap their head around that.
Mrs. B's students are among Toronto's most at risk. Their challenges vary from emotional and behavioral difficulties to learning disabilities. Their trauma is so severe they can't function in a regular school setting, and we aren't allowed to show most of their classmates.
For most of the kids, most of society has turned them away. And in this classroom, they're accepted. They're accepted no matter what for who they are.
Take Yolanda. She came here last year so burdened and withdrawn, she would often fall silent, sometimes for days on end. It was, she says, Mrs. B's patience, her quiet encouragement, that saved her.
She actually saves people's lives from dangers.
And perhaps that's why these marginalized kids feel such a kinship with the orphans of Haiti and why they were moved to act.
And so when Yolanda and Jackie and Patrick said, well, Miss B, we need to build them a school.
Build a school. No easy task. They started out raising money. They sold samosas, washed cars, screened movies, you name it. And in just a few months, this little class raised $20,000. So much, it's not just a one-room schoolhouse they can build, but a full 3-story school. And so Mrs. B set off on a journey she'd dreamed of, up into the dusty mountains above Port-au-Prince to a town called Canaan. It's home to thousands of earthquake refugees who live with no running water, no electricity, and no school, until now. The first step was a temporary school. It's up and running. 53 students already in uniform. The permanent school for 250 is growing from its foundations.
It makes me want to cry because she just makes me feel so awed, and I'm very proud of her.
All of this because of a handful of students back in Canada and Mrs. B, the teacher who believed in them.
These are for you.
At another fundraiser, a special tribute to the students, accepted by someone who, without Mrs. B, might not be here.
They believe in me and I believe in them, and together we not only change our lives, but we change the world around us.
For inspiring great things and seeing the potential in everyone, Serena Buffalino is this week's Everyday Hero.
This is the reason why I do what I do, is because of Yolanda and all the...
Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. I know you're like, okay, how many commercials is going to happen here? I was just looking at that. I said, you know what? I said, my sponsors, I love them because they help bring the Diamond Factor Experience Show to life. So I have to give them so much kudos. I appreciate them so much. But then I was like, wow, we're kind of, we got to start splitting this up a little bit. But I just want to say happy Friday. I know it's the end of the week, and a lot of people are like, yay! And then some people are like, oh, I still got work to do to one more day. And I know that some people just like probably just laying back. Maybe they're off today. Like me, I'm off today from my day job. I'm very happy about that. But on the other end, you know me, I'm going to tell you all the time, every single day, don't take it for granted. From Monday to Friday, appreciate every single day. I know Mondays are like, people be coming to me all the time, Monday's bourbon. I'm like, look, it's another day to say to yourself, I can make myself put stuff to action to get to my goals. That's it. Every day is an open, think about it. Every day that you wake up, hopefully you woke, a lot of people didn't. So you got to think about that. So the gratitude got to come out. And then once you get on your feet and you see that you can hear still, you can smell, you can breathe, you can walk, you appreciate that. Then you do your affirmations. Just kind of giving you, just on a side note, I'm giving you some tips here to remember who you are, what you are, and how important you are, and the value that you give, not to just yourself in your life, but to others around you. See how the day already is just like, you see why you get that adrenaline going? Because you start reminding yourself of who you are, and then you start reminding yourself of how you're going to be an instrument and a tool in somebody else's life. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice to do that? I mean, we need more of that in this world. And I'm telling you, there's a person, a very special queen that's coming on today that's a very, very important tool in the world. And you're going to see her in a few minutes. But, I don't like bringing out my guests, my wonderful queens, and just be like, here they are. No, we do it specially. So before I bring out this queen, I know you're like, who is she? She's not saying the name. What she's doing. Yes, I love this. I love to keep the suspense going. Before I do that, I always try to bring out something positive, something that you can think about during the day. We got so many things that's the negative, that's like those little gremlins in our head that's, hey, you can't do this. Oh, I'm too tired. Da, 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 da. And I want to make sure that you have something that you can kind of just really just sink in and say, I needed that right now for today. So I was looking at my wonderful book that's from this wonderful lady, Mary Ellen. And I always tell people I push her book because she has so many interesting topics in here. It's called Taking Responsibility, Unleashing True Healing. And this is the book. I always show it because, and people be like, well, are you getting like, royalties? No. This is called helping. This is called collaborating. This is called helping people. Okay. It's not always about the money. Okay. It's not always about the money. And I tell people sometimes when you have that, you don't have that motive, then things just come naturally in your life. And believe me, it comes naturally to the point where the money might come and you didn't even realize it. So always don't have that motivation factor about that. Just help each other. Okay. So in one of her passages, she says this, and I love this she's talking about thinking differently. Think differently and act differently to make changes to your usual routine. How many of us has a usual routine? Every day you get up, you do a sigh, and you go through the day. Maybe we need to change it up a little bit. Feel innovative today. Be a little challenged to yourself. Be a little creative. Make changes to your usual routine by imagining a variety of scenarios that may take place. Something different. Think, be a little like, I want to go on a little exposition here in your mind. Use your mind thoughts to build a different pleasurable picture for your day, especially if you already have a picture in your head that's a negative, okay? Now use your actions to make it happen. See, it's one thing to think, I always tell people, it's one thing to think about and talk about it, is the other thing to take action. Develop creativity in every project you handle. Everything that you handle, even to the minute little things, be creative with it. Tell yourself you are capable. Oh, this is good. I like that. Of accomplishing any goal while using your thoughts and action to challenge your ambitions. Ooh, this is getting deep. All of this resourcefulness you demonstrate is a direct result of your ability to see what you wish, then act upon it. Have you noticed there's a lot of action? Take action, not just, we're just talking here. Hint, hint. Today be creative with your thoughts, following through with, here we go again, your actions. And then I like all her passages, she always says at the end, enjoy your day. I love that. Enjoy your day. So with that, be creative. I thought a long time ago, real quickly, before we bring the queen, I always thought the one thing, the downer that I didn't have is creativity. I always told myself, told others, I'm like, I'm not that creative. I love how you do your graphics, or I love how you think about certain things that you do in your business or in your personal life, but I'm not that creative type of person. I used to always tell people that. And then I had to stop myself, especially last year. Last year really hit me and told me, stop it. I mean, what happened was, unfortunately, and this is very unfortunate, the pandemic happened, and I had no more excuses to say, oh, I'm not creative no more, because I had to get creative. I had to get creative in my personal life to rise up above what was going on. I had to get creative in my business because things that I was doing wasn't really working anymore, especially when you're at home and you have to be a hermit in your own house and you can't get anywhere. You can't talk to people like you want to. And if you run a certain business a certain way, sometimes you had to go out and talk to them. You couldn't do it anymore. So what happened was Zoom started making a lot of money. StreamYard started making a lot of money. A lot of videos. People were buying cameras on Amazon because they needed to know they had to purpose their self. And that became the creativity part of it. So that's why I said to myself, I had to stop it, because this is like, okay, it's not just me just saying I'm not creative. This is desperate need right now, because I need to change up what I'm doing. And oh, what a happy feeling. I have to say, I have found new products that I do. I have found newfound friends, relationships, just through doing this type of thing in Zoom or in StreamYard. So, but if I didn't take that step, because it starts here, right? With that mindset, and then it has to go here. See, some people are like, oh, it's a mindset. No, it's just not a mindset, but I add something to it. It's a heart set. So if you have your mindset and your heart set together and they agree with each other, things explode in your life, because now your heart's in it now. It's not just somebody telling you, saying what you have to do, but your heart is like, I feel this. I need to do this. And that's why I had to stop myself from saying, I'm not creative. And those words are powerful, because every time I would say it, I'm putting it out there, and then I'm not getting anything done. It was hard. I was making it difficult. It seemed like things that was easy to probably creative, it was more difficult for me, because guess what? Because in my mind, I kept saying, I'm not creative. I had to stop that. I said, stop it. Well, then a friend of mine told me to stop it too. I had to give them credit. It was me saying it, and then somebody was like, would you just stop it? So it's good to have people around you that care. Let's just say that. Well, I can go on and on. This is not about me today, but I always want to give something, just something to think about. And believe me, when I'm talking to you, wonderful listeners, wonderful audience, wonderful friends and family out there, I'm talking to myself too. We always learn. Sometimes you talk and you tell me like, wow, I didn't think of that. Where'd that come from? Oh, I just said it. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So we are going to bring on Mrs. Kimberly. This lady, I've been knowing her for a while now. I can't believe I was just thinking about last night how many years we've been knowing each other. You have to look back. See, this is another thing, taking the time to look at the people that are in your orbit, in your life, and be grateful and say to yourself, okay, if I've been knowing this person that long, why haven't I been talking to him more than I should? Yeah, I had to do a self-check. Yes, I did. And this woman, incredible. When I first met her, she just had this, she's just full of life. She's full of life, energy, and you just want to be around her. You really want to be around her. And you're going to see that when she comes on in a minute here. She loves one thing that I love what she does. She's always building and helping people, especially within families, relationships. Don't we all think that's a very important thing right about now? I mean, she's hitting it right on the nail with that. We need the love. I keep saying, people, we need to bring back the love and the relation and getting to get back into those things of the main things, the basic things. And that is building a relationship with your family, with couples, with friends. And she's doing that. She's called the Relationship Growth Strategist. I like that. I like that title. And she's very passionate. I'm telling you, she is very passionate about it. And that's what I said before about loving what you do. And she has a lot of good things going on. I know she's been doing shows. She's, phenomenal. And we're going to bring up so she can talk a little about that. We're going to have some conversation with her. Now, I always tell people when I bring on the queens and kings, because I bring men and women, I need you to do two things for me. And I'm asking because somebody told me I was telling people stuff and they said, that's not good, Bar. You can't tell nobody what to do. I was like, okay. So I'm going to ask, okay? I'm not going to get away from it. I'll just switch it. I'm going to ask for one thing. Please listen to what this queen has to say, because she's taking the time out to come on the show, the Diamond Factor Experience show, to give you some of her value that she basically is very, very vital and important. Secondly, if she has a book or a podcast or whatever she's doing, support each other. We need to do that more. So I'm asking, not telling, if you could do that for me. And with that, we're going to bring her on right, because she's a queen. Here we go. Royalties in the house.
Oh my gosh, Barbara. Amazing. And I just have to talk for a quick second.
No, you can talk more than a quick second, so I just let you know.
But I have to talk. We cannot ignore what you were saying about your creativity.
Yeah.
This is a perfect example. And this is a perfect example of saying that we have everything that we need inside of us. We have absolutely everything we need inside of us. And it wasn't until you were able to go within and tap in and say, you know what? I'm going to pull this creativity out because absolutely I am creative. And I love that. I had to talk about it. And thank you so much. Talking about a queen. Oh my goodness. The moment I met you, oh my gosh. Oh my God. The moment I met you, you always talked about the diamond shining. And really, honestly, when I look back on our relationship, I knew you were a diamond.
Oh.
I knew you were a diamond. And that's why you wanted to hunt for other diamonds, right? It's our journey. And I love you for that. And I
gotta give you a virtual hug, lady. Yes. And that, and a shame on me. I had, like I said, this morning I had to really think, well, really yesterday, but this morning too, I was like, me and Kimberly have been knowing each other for a while. Yeah. And I just told myself, we really need to do more collaboration. And hopefully you agree.
Absolutely.
It's in my head, but I'm like, okay, two people have to agree with this. Kimberly have to agree with this too. So I'm putting it out there right here live that I really want to do more stuff. I want to, because you do so much that you do, and I love what you do, and it kind of intertwines in what I kind of do in a way.
Absolutely.
And when you find people in that area, we need to really elevate that.
Mm-hmm.
Really do. Yeah,
absolutely. I couldn't agree more, Barbara. This is the time we're in, right? We're in that time where we really need to lean into that God-given purpose that we have for our life, right? That's why we're here. We can't ignore it. We're not here to accumulate things. We're not here to, I don't know, there's a variety of different things. We're here to live out our God-given purpose. So absolutely.
And we're not here to just, in separate, somebody, well, I'm over here, you're over there, we're all doing our little separate thing. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why we're here on this earth together.
Yes.
The main word, together.
Oh my gosh. You hit the nail on the head, Barbara. You hit the nail on the head. We were wired for connection. We were wired. These are things we cannot ignore. We were wired for connection. And we absolutely cannot ignore that.
Yeah,
And if
no.
we're not connecting, then that's again, it doesn't you don't have to go to that place where you're like, okay, well, I'm not a connector. I do like to stay in my own lane. No, it's a skill. It's a skill that we need to sharpen. Everything in our life is a skill. We all have a tool belt. What tools do you want to put in your tool belt?
So true, so true. And we all see the thing about that. I love what you said because we all have a tool. See,
Mhm.
this goes back to our uniqueness and how important it is for each other in each other's lives. And a lot of times we might say, well, Kimberly's doing all this and I don't think I'm qualified or whatever. You get in our mind
Right.
and then we pull back. And that's not that type of time. No,
No.
Kimberly, we need each other. I tell
Mhm.
people everybody's not gonna like Barbara. In fact, I know some people don't like Barbara, but they might love Kimberly and they like working with Kimberly, and she gives them that energy and that boost, and she's just there, and you're just a light for them. And the same go the opposite.
Yes.
Not saying they don't like you, Kimberly, but they might be like, well, I'm resonating more over here. But if
Yes.
we come together,
Hmm.
people get the best of both worlds.
Mm.
you know?
Absolutely. And you know what, Barbara, you hit on a really important point, I believe, that especially as entrepreneurs, I think that shows up for us a lot, right? I envision this road of entrepreneurship as, like I'm driving in a car and along the road, there's people on the side of the road, right? And those people that are on the side of the road, those people are meant to be in my journey. And so I absolutely agree. Maybe people will stay just for a short time. Maybe people will stay longer. And if we're blessed, maybe that person is meant to stay a lifetime. But the great thing about it is I don't have to put any thought into that because God has my life planned for me. And I just need to accept what he has for me. I can pout about it. I can throw a fit, that's fine. We all do it. But at the end of the day, he knows what's best for me. And I just need to keep driving on the road.
The road of life, like you said, and just take that ride. He has control of it. Just enjoy it. And then while you're going along the way, you're meeting some incredible people. You're learning some wonderful lessons. And I'm going to throw creativity in there. And you're being creative through the whole thing. So Kimberly, I know we just started talking because this is what we do. I know this is what we do. I already knew this was going to happen because the spark that you have, and like I said, you're just the energy that I just love in you. But I want to make sure that we go back. One thing about my show is I'm always talking about what I call PPD, your purpose, your passion, your drive in life. And
Mm.
I'm always, like you said, hunting for those diamonds because everybody has little diamonds in them. And that's within you, your story, what you do, how you started off. I didn't always was like, had this TV show. No. In fact, I was a shy person. I didn't want to say nothing to nobody. And I don't want nobody to say nothing to me. But see, your stories tell you some where you came from there. So can you just let's give people a little taste on Mrs. Kimberly, where you started from and now what you're doing now that is so great of an impact.
Absolutely. Where would you like me to start? Life.
Anywhere you would like, lady, because I know anything you're going to say is going to be awesome.
Oh, you're too kind. You're absolutely too kind, and I really appreciate you. You know what? This journey as an entrepreneur, and for those that are listening, this might resonate with you as well. This journey as an entrepreneur is just amazing. Like I had no idea, right? I had no idea. God had these plans for me. He had it all planned out. He's like, honey, I'm waiting on you. And what is your problem? But anyway, I want to go back and humanize the story just for a quick moment. And, when I was a wee one, right? When I was a wee one, my family didn't have, what they need it, right? So this may resonate with you too, because it resonates with a lot of us. It resonates with a lot of us. It's not something that we need to shove under the covers and ignore or feel shameful about. It is a fact, right? It's a fact. We don't always have what we need to create a strong foundation. So I came from a place where my family, my mom, my dad, they didn't have a strong foundation. So that led to a host of, kind of being here, over there, but thank God for it. Every day, Barbara, that passes by, I am so grateful for that, because now I understand there was a purpose behind that. Nobody likes to hear that there are little children on our planet, like you just shared with Heal the Humanity.
Mhm.
Nobody in the world likes to think that there are children that are struggling, but it happens. And you know what? God has a purpose for that. God has a purpose. And so that foundation wasn't solid. It led to a lot of strife, both for my parents and for me. That is why I'm so passionate about relationships. That is why I'm passionate about relationships. Again, God put that purpose on my heart. He was testing me. What are you going to do with your pain? Well, the story changes because at age 15, I'm thinking, oh my God, like we're not equipped at 15 years old, let alone 5, 6, 7, 8, to deal with all this pain, right? So I look up. I don't come from a religious background at all, at all. All right. I was exposed to different religions. Grandfather's Jewish, grandmother Catholic, dad Catholic, the whole shebang, right? And I looked up, I knew he was there, and I said, help me, help me. I can't take it anymore. Whether it was my half sister's drug addiction and what the drama that was going on around that, whether it was my needs as a child that I was a child, I couldn't meet those emotional needs. Again, people were around me physically, they weren't there for me emotionally. Again, key being, and I hope your audience will take these away and
Yes.
really be present and listen.
Yes. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm getting
We
so
can
up.
observe. We can become the observers of our life. And when we are the observers, we realize that our parents, our grandparents, our caregivers, they too came from pain. They too have their own trauma. They have their own trauma. So when we realize that, it changes our perspective. Yes, it puts more onto us to have to deal with that. But I want you to remember you are never alone. Just like that 15-year-old self. I felt alone. I felt isolated. I felt alone. I had friends. They were there physically. They weren't there for me emotionally. I had friends. It was too heavy for them to carry. They didn't want to carry it. They want to stay away from drama. So imagine that. And I know there's other children or other people that are listening.
Yes.
I hear you. I hear you and I see you.
Mm.
I hear you and I see you because I was that child. I sometimes am that adult. I am sometimes that adult that needs to remind myself. There's nobody around me reminding, but mind you, I want you to really tune into what Barbara and I were talking about, what Barbara was talking about today when she was saying she didn't believe she was creative. She was creative. She is creative. She is amazing.
Thank
She is amazing. So I don't know. Sorry about that rambling.
you. No, whoa, we're gonna wait. Nope. That's the last thing I want you to say is sorry. No, this is powerful, powerful. I'm sitting back like, oh my God, oh my God. Oh, Kimberly, I could talk to you about what you're talking about all day. because I loved, there was a lot of things. I'm about to peel back some things that you said. Well, one thing that I love that you said, that, we go through our challenges in life. Okay. Some people, we all have different words. So, because it was rough. I mean, I know, hey, I went through rough valley, low valleys. I know you have too, especially at a young age at 15. And, then we think about why, and we have to be honest with ourselves, Kimberly, right? We ask the question, why me? We do. We're human. We have emotions. We have feelings. See, some people don't like to say that, and they get mad at me when I say this. I said, but no, we have to own that first.
Yes.
Before we can move to the next level.
Yes.
We really have to own the fact that how you feel, because if you keep it bottled in, and this, Kimberly, we always, talk about this. If you keep that bottled in, don't say anything about it, it just makes things worse. It's like you're just covering, and it's just this, and all of a sudden you're getting older and you're still covering all this. So now you're in your 30s and 40s because you should have released something back in when you were a teenager, but you didn't do it. Because for some reason, somebody said no, or you're like, no, I can't say nothing, or whatever the deal may be, So I'm glad that you looked at that and said, I'm going through this, not liking it. I feel alone. What's going on here in my life? But you took that experience, what you went through, and said, I'm going to turn it around to something, not have to be so much like a victim, how to tell people being victims and stuff. But you looked at it and said, you know what? I'm going to use this so I can show people that, hey, I've been where you are.
Yeah.
I've been where you are. And when you said, I see you, that was powerful. When you said that, Kimberly, when you said, people need to hear that, because a lot of times people don't feel like they're being seen.
Mm-hmm.
People don't feel like they don't, how you hear people say, well, you just don't understand me. You don't understand. And so much, I just want to shake him and say, I do, though. I do understand.
Yes.
And you've been there. And then I know you want to see the people, they, especially the young youth and the teenagers, they don't feel understood. They feel like people are not watching. They're just kind of just going through life rapidly. And when you come to them and say, look, I see you. And sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes physically we have to get to a child and get to a teenager to say, I see you. And they get their focus to themselves. Am I right about that?
Oh my gosh, Barbara, you hit the nail on the head. That's so important, right? Because oftentimes we get attached to our pain. We all do on some level. On some level, it serves us. I know it's so painful. It was painful for me. And I want to clarify, this wasn't an isolated incident. This was a series of things. We had domestic violence in our family. We had alcoholism in our family. I was the observer in my life. So it's not to judge anyone. It's not to judge who's listening. It's not to judge my family. I love my family. I love them. And I've got a great technique for everyone that's listening. If you're dealing with any trauma that's coming up for you, maybe it's with a significant parent in your life. One thing that always helped me reframe the pain was imagining that my mom, my dad, they were once babies too. And I will visualize them as innocent, pure infants. And when we think of the image of an innocent, pure infant, we know what that's like. Their skin is so soft, pure. They're just learning to speak. They come out in the world with such wonder and joy. Things happened to them. This is important. Things happened to them too. Now you have a decision. And your decision is, will you change your perspective? Will you decide that you want something different for yourself, for your life? It's not going to be easy, especially when you're thinking about being a child and holding all of that in your container. That is why I have such honor and such appreciation for those who've experienced extreme traumas and overcame them. Doesn't mean they're still not fighting their demons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I still fight demons
Me too.
in
Yeah.
myself, right? God didn't say that we were not going to be on this earth sinning all over the place. And boy, do we do, right? Sometimes a button gets pushed in us and we're like, oh my God, like that. And it feels good, right? Push my button.
I see people. I told you told you about the energy and the love that she has. I'm telling you, I'm feeling it through the StreamYard right here. I want to go back. See, you throwing all these good nuggets, lady. And our time is so. But we're gonna have to bring you back. See, that's why I said we need to talk behind closed doors and collaborate and stuff. But I love how you said that reframing.
Mhm.
That's powerful. See, I was writing it down when you were saying reframing the pain. And I'm like, you reminded me of the talk I had with my mother 12 years ago before she passed. And me and her had let's say just a challenging relationship. Let's just put it there in this,
Yeah.
And people can kind of get the point of what I'm saying, because I love her dearly. Like you always say, she instilled in me so much that I didn't even realize she instilled till after. It's funny she passed because I started thinking about it. You get older, you get wiser, and then, like you say, you reframe. So we never had a talk because my mother I called her Sergeant Beckley because she was always on me about everything. If I would get an A, Kimberly, she was like, "Where's the A plus?" That's how much she was on me about stuff because she always was saying, "You need to do better. You need to show up better." And I thought I was doing better with a whole bunch of A's. I mean, in my mind, I'm like, okay, how much better can I get? But she would always, and then now this was teenage, my 20 years, my 20s and stuff. I was getting that from her all the time. So I was never enough, in my mind. See, I'm thinking in my mind, and I didn't really answer the question on, okay, why? Well, when you're younger and you're young like a child, you don't supposed to ask why. You just do what the parents do back in the day.
Yeah.
And then you get older, then you be like, okay, how can I escape? Which I did. I did escape. I had to make some money, get a job, and escape. So that's what I did and went to school and escaped. But, as I got older, and then, like I said, 12 years ago, when she basically got real sickly and she passed. And a week before that, Kimberly, we had said, because she loved to go out and to breakfast and just be out there. So when your parent, you want to make sure that you can do what you can for them. So I took her out and I said, "Ma," and I said, "Don't please take this the wrong way because I'm still scared of you, even in my 40s." Like, okay, I know she'd be a little, like, oh God, I remember that. Okay, you brought back memories. Thank you very much.
Right.
But you talk back to me. You talk back to me.
But
But
Barbara, you bring up a good point. I love what you just said. It can be like we can actually, especially with our moms, right? We can actually go back to that place where we're like, but we're reacting in the past and not in the present moment. But our DNA, the brain, right? It's just like, oh my God.
well, you know how when people say you create an impact in life. Well, yeah, that was an impact, and it stayed for a long period of time, So yeah, but just to get to the gist of what you're saying, because I wanted to show that the confirmation of what you were saying is when I finally answered that question when we were there at breakfast, and I said, "Ma, I always felt like I wasn't enough to you." It seemed like I was just working hard. I would go to school. I would try to get the grades. I would do extra. I would stay, do nights. I mean, and even I wasn't a bad child. I was going to night schools. I was trying to make more classes to keep her happy. I was just telling her I was doing all this.
Yeah.
Break it and just everything I was trying to do. And it worked. I was trying to be the best, and so that. And she said, why would you think that I thought you weren't enough? I said, well, I gave her a few examples. And she's like, I did not want you to be where I was at when I was younger, where I didn't have no opportunity. And then I come to find out, Kimberly, that she was molested, that she was a lot of things, because she came from Mississippi and they sent her to Chicago because they thought it was going to make a new good life for her. Well, it went the opposite direction. And she didn't get a chance to finish school. It was just a lot of bad things that happened at an early age for her. And she had to fight tooth and nail because she didn't have that education. She didn't have the experience. So she had to fight, do extra. And that's what she was telling me. She said, and I never wanted my child to go through that. So yeah, okay, I was very tough on you. But look at what you're at now. And I said, thank you. Yes, you gave me the tools. Back in my mind, I'm like, but still, can we just a little bit? I get what she's saying, but it's like, oh God.
Moms and daughters. But one important thing I think you pointed out, or I got from your story, was this idea of self-worth. A lot of times what we find is that our parents, right? And that, just like everything else in our lives, in our DNA, our parents pass that on, or the circumstances in which we are taking part of pass that on, right? Mm-hmm. But when we recognize that, that's the beautiful thing. Just like the creativity. When we recognize, right, what is it that I can do to fill myself up? So, two things, again, I didn't mean to kind of go off kilter, but two things that I think of when you told that story was the love language and the importance of parents. So if there's any parents listening, the importance of really looking at your kiddo's love language. How do they receive love, right? Because it doesn't matter how much we love our children in the way we think they should get love. If we're not loving them in their language, then we're not loving them. I know it's such a hard pill to swallow, right? Yeah. It's such a hard pill to swallow. The other thing is to always do check-ins with yourself, because when we're not feeling good about ourselves, when we're struggling with our own internal self-worth, and I can guarantee everyone listening at some point in time did it. I did it. Again, it's bringing yourself back to center and knowing what you need to do to fill yourself up again and realize, oh, I just got off course. So those two things, I think, were really, really powerful, because I agree with what she said. She loved you. She absolutely loved you. And her pain absolutely was how she wanted to guide you, instead of from a place of how you needed it. You needed love in a different way. She didn't mean to, right? But she turned, you maybe into a people pleaser, right? And many of us struggle with people pleasing as well, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know that I did.
That road, still have to pull myself sometimes when I see myself getting back into that. Uh-oh. The signs, Kimberly, the signs.
Yeah. You are so right. You are so right.
Well, Kimberly, because I wanted you to sum up some things before we end, but I knew I got to go back to a sponsor and show it to them, and we'll be right back. Okay, we are back. We are back. And just to let you know, before, if you missed the majority of this interview, shame on you. Shame on you. So much good nuggets. But the nice, powerful thing about this is this will be replayed and it's already in the system forever. So you can always come back and listen to our conversation. But I want to, before we move forward, because I know I want Kimberly to say some stuff before we close, is that I just showed a commercial regarding the third annual Financial Wellness Boot Camp. I'm also part, collaboration is the key. Part me and another wonderful queen, Lawana Bradford. We are together putting on this every year. This is our third year. We're really excited about it, about financial wellness boot camp for women. We've been finding out, which is kind of different, Kimberly, that women don't really like to talk about their finance. You got more men talking about it than women. It's like we can talk about everything else: clothes, hair, nails, what you did for the day, children, which is good. You have those conversations. But we gotta talk about the finances, because we gotta make sure we're doing check-ins to make sure that we're okay in that area. It's funny how we go to the doctor or call up or get a pill if we have a headache, but when it comes to finances, we're like, don't even say it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want you to know, whatever the case may be. So we're bringing some wonderful experts this coming Saturday, tomorrow, and we're asking people. There's still room to sign up in the virtual room, and if you put celebrate, I'll put the link in my group. If you just put celebrate, the code celebrate, you will get all you have to pay is $20. $20 for 6 fabulous experts in different areas of finances. All women. See, that's the nice thing about it. As women, I love you, men. I love you. But us as women, we have powerful things, especially in the finance, and we got to show up, so people can see that. So just a quick little reminder of that. But let's go back to our queen, Miss Kimberly, now. Okay, that's what that's what I want to get back to, because she just been First of all, Kimberly, that's why I said I had to hit myself this morning. I need to bring you back, lady. I know you're busy. A lot of things going on, but we need, like I said, talk about some collaboration here, because so much. Just the different things you talked about. We could take that and do 30 minutes and take something else and do. This is all in my head going as you're talking, because there's so much.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. And I think I wanted to go back to what you were just sharing too, about the financial piece.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. So important, so important. If you have any women out there that are listening too, that was one thing that I did not do well in. When we look at the wheel of life, I did not do well in developing my own financial security, right? Often as women, we believe that when we partner with someone, that was the old traditional way of looking at it, right? We're partnered with someone, they're taking care of us. But what we don't realize is, just like our businesses, there's risk involved. There's absolute risk involved. So please check out Barbara's financial wellness, workshop. It is so important for you in your life to become financially independent. I'm saying, even if you're in a happily married situation, it is important for you to be financially stable. So if something happens to your partner, you can take care of yourself. You do not want any surprises. So please join her. Sorry, I had to do that plug because
See, that's what I'm talking. This is, you're so sweet. That's so nice. Well, Kimberly, I know with time, I want you to, because what I usually do now is I want to take myself down just for like maybe 30 seconds. And I want you to just first tell the audience anything that you're doing that I want them to support you with, and then how they can contact you. And I'll come back up and we'll just close it from there.
Absolutely. So as Barbara introduced me, I'm a relationship growth strategist, and I absolutely love both business and personal relationships. And currently, my core business is supporting that corporate woman and helping her create more mindful relationship with her partner or her spouse. Why? Because the foundation of the family, whether it's just the two of you or you have expanded your family and that includes children, is so important. We want to make sure that is rock solid. It is an 8-week live group coaching melded with self-study program, and it takes you on an 8-week journey. I'm telling you, it starts with self-love, ends with physical intimacy, and I am telling you, the culmination of those 8 weeks, you will come out never ever the same. You will not only transform your relationship with your partner or your spouse, you are going to transform how you interact with everyone. And who doesn't love growth? You and then also I'm super passionate about meditation. That's right. I'm super passionate about meditation. And so I have a tea and a meditation subscription. Fantastic. It is a great way. Now, I'm not coming from the place where I am a professional meditator by any means, but I've been meditating now for a couple years, 2-3 years, and I absolutely love it. And we are learning and growing in our own meditation, and we're drinking tea. We're drinking tea. It's a great place if you're looking for a community to find your, connected to, and you're really connected to self-growth. Because I'm telling you, with meditation, you can only grow and expand. And it helps you be willing to talk about some of those challenging things that come up in all of our lives, right? Life brings us challenges, sometimes it's lemons. Are we going to squeeze them? What are we going to do? And meditation is terrific to do that. I also have a global business community. We are a community of purpose-driven entrepreneurs. So again, it leads to that business side of me where I love building those really purposeful relationships. And I've got a team of ambassadors that have joined me. And I would love for you to join me. Again, purpose-driven community where we're going to provide support in many different areas. And it's not just me, it's my team. And I absolutely love each and every one of them. And I love you, Barbara. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Love you, lady. Well, I want to make sure we get this in. How can they contact you?
Oh my goodness. I'm everywhere. Instagram, Facebook. Empower Me Now is the name of the business community. Tea and Meditation is the name of the tea and meditation community. So I can go ahead and throw some links into the chat when we are done, if Barbara will allow that.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yes, and I look forward to having a conversation with you, and I look forward to future collaborations, Barbara.
Yes, I do too. Like I said, when you were talking, when I brought myself down, I was like, okay, call Kimberly. Sometimes we make things so difficult. We do. And we cause it ourselves. It's like, well, I got to figure out, how do I do? No, call Kimberly. That's all I got to do and make it happen.
and you know what? I want to stress that you are so creative. Oh my God. So creative. And I'm loving, watching you shine.
Oh, lady.
I am loving it.
Yeah. Oh, I just have to say this before we sign off. Mm-hmm. And I know, like I said, you're in a lot of other powerful groups and you've been building your empire on your end, which like I said, I see you, like you just said earlier, I see you. Mm-hmm. I really do. And I'm like, she's phenomenal. But what I have to tell you that what I love, and I don't know if I haven't seen it lately, and you mean to bring it back, if you would start off on some of your like meditation, because I know you have, the timing, and you would dance.
I do.
And I was like, yes. I mean, and there were days when I was, because you had those days, and I would pop you on, and I was like, if I am pissed off about something, that needs to go because this man was sitting here jamming, and I was like, next thing you know, by the time you got done, Kimberly, I was like,
I love it. I love it.
so I just got to tell you that works. Keep it going.
I'm telling you, Barbara, you know what? I actually have just partnered with a tea company and to add to my tea and meditation. And I was showcasing in my party last night, I was showcasing one of the products. And I was getting so joyful because this cup is so sparkly and glittery, and then the tea changes colors, and I got so joyful over it. So yeah, now I can add something to my joy.
I said, hey, I was having a party. I was having a party all by myself with Kimberly. She don't even know it.
I love it.
Yeah, so I just was going to tell you, keep that. Just keep, because like I said, you're just so full of that energy, and we all need that, and we need to be reminded a lot of times. So, yeah. I was thinking about that. I said, and then I was going back in the video, say, okay, I got to look at that video where she was dancing. I said, where's that video? So, yeah, you're a hit. You're a hit. Let's just say that.
You know what, Barbara? I don't know if you know this, but one of my things on my bucket list, is to make it to Dancing with the Stars.
Oh my God! See, don't start me now, and our time is out here. That is my show. That is like my addiction in a sense, in a good way. Yeah, I love Dancing with the Stars. Yeah.
Someday I'm going to be on that show.
Okay, no, I can't. Okay, I'm going to end it at this because I have to. Which dance do you love out of all the dances in Dancing with the Stars? Like, what type of dance?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Right now, I'm doing my own personalized training. I'm getting ready to go back into ballet or some bar to get myself in shape. Yeah. But I would have to say my two favorite dances are salsa and the tango. Salsa because I've got hips, baby, and the tango.
Hips don't lie.
And the tango because I love the sexy dances. It's a great way. I mean, that could be a whole nother conversation. So I won't.
I know. I see, we're in sync. I knew we were in sync because I'm in the same zone. I love any type of Latin dance that they have on there. I fall in love with it. The tango, the cha-cha, the it's Argentina tango. I like that because it's like,
I love it. And it's so sexy.
Yes.
If you look at the lines, what we can do with our body, we can do such beautiful things. It's all about the lines, and so I'm hoping in 2022 that I'm going to be doing either a salsa or I'm leaning towards a tango. Mm-hmm. I'd love to perfect my tango in 2022, just kind of really getting those lines and, for women too, for men too, but for women, we can really lean into our sexuality and learn a lot about our bodies. Yeah. It's important for us to know about our bodies. Again, another conversation.
I know you brought that's what started like, oh no, she brought my guilty pleasure to me.
I love it.
Stars. And I like when you said the lines, you remind me of Bruno because he's always like getting up and doing all that. You need to bring it up and do this.
Yes. In the transformation, that's one of the reasons why I want to get on that show, because the transformations that they make with the dancers, like they're transforming people that do not dance.
And every time it's so unbelievable to me. I'm glad you mentioned that because it is. They start off with they can't even like have a beat or whatever in their body, and by the time they get through, it's like they're doing all this stuff, and they even admit it, and they be crying, and I be crying with them because you see the transformation. You be like, wow,
it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing. And
so let's both get on that show. We both need to.
Yes. Okay, this is a mission. So if you're listening, we're gonna be on Dancing with the Stars.
Because we are stars. They just need to know that. And we need to get on the show.
I'm telling you, it's happening. I see it. You know, lean into your vision for your life, because again, whether it's a small step or it's a huge leap, it doesn't matter how you take your action. You're still taking action. You're still in movement. That's what counts. And you know what? We may have to take a few leaps to get to Dancing with the Stars, but we're going to do it, honey.
Hey, I'm loving it. Well, lady, you know what? Like I said, we'll be talking. You have a wonderful rest of your Friday and the rest of the weekend. And this has just been, you have gave me a gift
You
for
too.
me. And thank you so much for coming on the Diamond Factor Experience Show and shine your light as you're shining and create the impact that you're creating, and just tell it to the world. And again, I want to use your words real quickly, is that, like Kimberly said, we see you. We see you. I love that. Okay, lady, you take care.
Bye.
I'm hanging on your every word. The love inside, I feel it burn. I've never felt this way before. I've had a taste, now I want more. So here we are, just you and me. I'm overwhelmed when you touch me. You talk so sweet, I hear the sound. 'Cause when you do, my feet won't touch the ground. My feet won't touch the ground.
See, I'm already doing the dance. See, Kimberly has me going. Dun, dun, dun. Why did she bring up Dancing with the Stars? She just don't know. Me and her can have a conversation about that. I mean, we can start from the beginning when the series started. I watched Dancing with the Stars when it first started, and it's been a long time. I thought about that too. I said, "Dang, Dancing with the Stars been on for a long time. It's showing my age." That's okay. I'm still here, and hopefully that's a good thing for myself and for others. But yeah, I love Dancing with the Stars. Because it's funny, because that's a guilty pleasure of mine, because I want it always to be. And people be like, "Really, bro? You've been in insurance. You're doing all this stuff, TV and stuff, streaming." I said, "I always want to be a dancer. I love fame. When I was growing up, the real fame, not the the remakes, like they say, but the first Fame movie in the 70s type of thing. Again, age. But I always wanted to be that dancer. Every time, fame, I want to live forever. I mean, that song came on, I want to learn how to fly high. I mean, yes, I fell in love with that. And I got in my head that I was a Fame dancer. I really did. I know this is probably saying she needs some counseling, but no, I really thought I was one of a Fame dancer. So when Kimberly touched upon Dancing with the Stars, I said, "Oh no, she's talking about something I love." But you know what? I love a lot of things what Kimberly says. She says so much. But one thing that, keep dreaming. Keep telling yourself, I don't care if you're 20 or 50 or 80. I mean, I know 70, 80 years that are just on fire, and they're showing me up. I was like, okay, I got to get myself together. I mean, I'm in my 50s. They're sitting around in their 80s writing books, talking, speaking, helping people out there, just, in the world, just creating that bigger impact. And I love it because it shows me, it reminds me, first of all, to get my act together even more. Second, it shows me that, we have this purpose in our lives, and no matter how we're aging, we still need to make that as our energy bunny. Okay. You know that commercial with energy bunny, keep on ticking. You see the little bunny with the thing that gives us the adrenaline to do for others. There is no time stamp to say you stop creating impact in life. There is none. So that's why age is nothing but, I know I'm saying old saying, but nothing but a number. Because we got to keep doing this. I said, I'm going to keep striving. I told myself this, to strive to help people, give their visibility where I can make it, if I can create other products like this or whatever, until the day that I transition. Because this is what the purpose is for me. And I feel I'll be doing an injustice if I don't keep doing what I need to do. If I still can hear, see, feel, and think, then there's no excuse. There's just no excuse. You know, you got to change up a little time. You know how people like time management. I got a lot of stuff going on. You know what? I love to hear people say that they got a lot of things going on busy, because that means you're living, that you're living. But if I don't hear anybody saying anything or doing anything, you're slowly, I hate to say it like this, you're slowly dying in a mental capacity because you're not doing what you were meant to do. And that all goes back to that tool that you are in this life. Be that tool, shine. I'm always talking about shining like a diamond. I know my show and my whole brain is about diamonds. And that's why I always say it, make that we all have that inner gem in us. If you want to be a diamond, if you want to be a ruby, sapphire, whatever your gem that you like, but make sure that you know that you're unique in what you are and shine, not in just your own life, within yourself, because you got to love your, like you say, you got to bring it in and love yourself first. And then once that's there and it penetrates out, then you're helping so many others, just like Kimberly is. She is touching so many lives. She's impacting so many people. And a lot of times we don't realize that. And it's not our, and that's why we have to keep going, because you don't realize or you don't know who you're impacting. So if you stop, or if you say to yourself, well, okay, I'm done, or, you know, maybe I did enough, you are basically now people, the lives that you were saving that you didn't know, they're not going to get what they need from you, from Kimberly, from Barbara, from you, period. So you always say, Barbara, you shine like a diamond. Yes. And I'm going to say that until, like I said, till the next adventure in my life comes, because it's so important to understand how important you are, to understand your value. And I always say PPD. That's my thing. I always say your purpose, your passion, your drive in life. And I'm just saying that's why I like to bring on, and I call her queen. I call them queens like Kimberly, because I want you to see that we are human, just like everybody. Some people are like, are you really human? You do this, you up all night, you're doing that. No, I felt the pain. Kimberly felt the pain. We've been there. She told you. I told you. I mean, look, I thought I wasn't enough. I had to have a talk with my mother. Then I had a talk with myself. So, but, we go through, it's like that, shaping and molding of the diamond. Yes, I'm bringing the diamond story back into this, but it's so true, because, you go and still, no matter, like Kimberly said, we're still going to go through it. It's just not like one day it's like everything's perfect and you're just like, wait, nothing's weighing me down. The emotions are going. No. It still happens. Like I said, when I was sitting with my mother and I said, oh, I better not say that. I remember what she did when I was 12. Ooh, I better not say that. And I was 40 some years old and I'm still flinching. But you know what? In a way, some people say, dang, she was in your head all this time. But then, like Kimberly said too, but those were reminders to kind of put boundaries in you. And I feel like that was a part of understanding about respect, because there's a lot of people that I'm kind of saying I kind of go down this road. There's a lot of disrespect within minorities and everything. And, that really just irks me. So if I flinch a little bit, because at the time I was talking to my mother, because that was reminding me that I had to respect my elders. I had to respect people that have the wisdom that brings that. I had to respect people that have been down roads to get myself and Kimberly to a certain level of what we're doing. And a lot of times people don't look at that, or don't take it for granted. And I never said that's why when I bring people on this show, I never take it for granted, because they have such a uniqueness in them. And like I said, with your impact, what do I always say? You are a lighthouse to the world. What is a lighthouse? And I'm going to end it at this. What is a light? When you think of a lighthouse, what does a lighthouse do? You thinking? I know you're thinking. A lighthouse brings back, remember, the boats to their destination, because they were out there at sea. They were lost. They didn't know where they were going. They got somewhere down the line. They were disconnected. But then that lighthouse is shining. In the lighthouse that the light just shines all night, because it's trying to help and seek the boats, seek the ships, whatever out there in the sea, to bring them back to who they are. That's what we are. That's what you are. You're a lighthouse for the world. Just remember that. You are a lighthouse for the world. And with that, I know I can go on. But anyway, you have a wonderful rest of your Friday, people. We will be back Monday. We got some wonderful guests, some wonderful experts. And remember to shine like that diamond. Remember that who you are, and what you do is important in this life. Not just for yourself, but for others and creating an impact in the world. Talk to you on Monday.